Time's running out, Commanders.
An unknown safety is shaking up the camp. A young linebacker got a legend's blessing, and ESPN revealed that a former star cornerback could be our grave.
Or the ticket to the playoffs. This is not theory. These
are FACTs that decide today the fate of the season. You choose. Do you want to be the last to know how this trio defines the future of the franchise? Hit the bell, subscribe, and find out in the next 14 minutes why this year won't just be any year. Every second counts. And the Eagles are already watching this video. Let's start with something that has me completely amazed. Tyler Owens, the safety who arrived as an undrafted free agent from Texas Tech, is working with the first defense during training camp. Do you remember when we thought Jeremy Chin was irreplaceable? When Adam Peters let him go to Las Vegas, and we were all worried about that position. Well, it turns out Peters knew exactly what he was doing. I believe this isn't a coincidence. Owens has the exact physical profile that Dan Quinn and Joe Witt Jr. look for in their safeties. Size, athleticism, explosiveness. Last year, this guy earned his spot on the 53-player roster when no one gave him a chance. An injury slowed his progress, but now he's back, and Quinn has him working with the first defense from day one of Camp. And do you know why this is great? Because Quan Martin and Will Harris are established as starters, but if Owens keeps showing this level, he'll force the coaches to find him minutes in the rotation. Peters bet on him when he let Chin go, and it seems that bet is starting to pay off. But let me dive into why this is so significant. Owens isn't just working with the first defense. He looks completely comfortable there. Reports say his coverage looks secure, his positional sense has dramatically improved, and he seems more prepared for the pressure of training camp. Do you know how hard it is for an undrafted safety to stand out at this level? The reality is Owens followed the same pattern last year. Limited work with the first defense initially, but his consistent performance earned him a roster spot when we all thought he'd be cut. This guy has something special, a determination that only comes from knowing every snap could be the last. I tell you this, Peters' decision to let Chin go seemed risky at the time, but now it looks brilliant. Chin cost $8 million, and Peters replaced him with Will Harris for a fraction of the price while developing Owens internally. That's the difference between a smart general manager and one who just spends money. And do you know what else excites me? Owens has very similar instinctive and dynamic traits to Chin, but with the motivation of a player who knows they must prove everything every day. There's no complacency, no guarantees, just pure hunger and hard work. Now I ask you this. How many times have we seen an undrafted safety impact so much in their second year? This guy has the chance to be the surprise that the league doesn't see coming in 2025. If he keeps up this pace throughout camp and stays healthy, we could be seeing Washington's next great safety. The depth at the safety position now is impressive. Martin and Harris as starters, but Owens pushing for minutes, creating internal competition that only makes the whole group better. THAT is how you build a solid defense, not just with starters, but with real depth that can contribute immediately. If that surprises you, wait until you hear this. Bobby Wagner, the defensive mastermind who knows talent when he sees it, is pouring praise on Jordan McGee. And when a future Hall of Famer talks like this about a second-year linebacker, I'm paying full attention. Wagner said verbatim that McGee is a player everyone is watching, that his growth and understanding of the defense is remarkable. But do you know what the most important part of what Wagner said is? That the biggest step for a young player is when they no longer have to worry about learning the plays and rookie adjustments, and can just focus on being the best linebacker possible. I tell you this, after years of watching this team struggle to find consistent linebackers behind Wagner, this is music to my ears. McGee comes from Temple, has exceptional athleticism, is violent at the point of contact, and has the physical profile to compete with anyone. His knee injury as a rookie cost him valuable minutes, but it seems that time was well spent studying and preparing. And do you know, why Witt has already declared he wants to implement more 3 linebacker sets this season? Because that third spot is McGee's to lose. Wagner won't be here forever, and we need the next generation to step up. Now I ask you, when was the last time we had a young linebacker with this kind of veteran endorsement like Wagner's? But let me explain why Wagner's specific words are so important. He mentioned that McGee is more comfortable and confident within the defense, that his preparation looks different, that he's no longer struggling with the basic things that come with being a rookie. THA is exactly what you need to hear about a player in their second year. The knee injury that limited McGee as a rookie initially seemed like a curse, but now it seems it was a blessing in disguise. While other rookies were making mistakes on the field, McGee was watching film, learning the system, closely observing Wagner. Now he's coming back with a year of mental experience, but with the hunger of someone who knows they've lost valuable time. I believe this reminds me of when London Fletcher mentored young linebackers, but Wagner has an even greater pedigree. This man has been All-Pro multiple times, played in Super Bowls, been the defensive quarterback of elite teams. If McGee can absorb even half of Wagner's knowledge, we're talking about a player who can anchor our defense for the next decade. Do you know what else excites me? Wagner specifically mentioned he's seeing McGee preparing differently, that he's confident. Those are things you can't teach, but they develop when a player finally gets it. The difference between a player who overthinks and one who just reacts. McGee has all the physical tools, first-class athleticism, violence at the point of contact, the physical profile to compete with elite tight ends and running backs. What was missing was the mental confidence and system understanding. Apparently, a year of development has solved both problems. Now I ask you this. What does it mean for our defense to have a 22-year-old linebacker gaining Bobby Wagner's respect? It means that when Wagner retires, we won't have a giant hole in our defense. It means Peters is building for the future while competing now. If McGee is really ready for that third spot in the 3 linebacker sets, our defense will have a versatility we haven't seen in years. We'll better handle the running game, have more speed and coverage, and Wagner can focus on what he does best without worrying about covering others' weaknesses. But that's nothing compared to what's coming. ESPN just named Martian Latimore as our X Factor for the season, and Seth Walder wrote something that has me thinking day and night. He said that Latimore can make or break the Commanders, and you know what? I believe he's absolutely right. Listen up. Our pass rush is a serious concern. Without Chase Young, without Montez Sweat, we're depending on Latimore, Mike St. Ristel, and rookie Trey Amos to maintain coverage long enough for our rushers to get to the quarterback. That's a huge responsibility. Latimore played only 2 regular season games with us after the trade from New Orleans, limited by injury, but appeared in all 3 playoff games. In that limited time, he didn't look like the elite cornerback he's been his entire career. And here's the key. We need him back at that Pro Bowl level that made him a first-round pick in 2017. Do you realize what this means? We've been searching for a shutdown corner for years. Since the days of Josh Norman, this team has been trying to find someone who can completely eliminate the opponent's number 1 receiver. Latimore is that player when he's at his best. Believe if Latimore can return to his all-pro form, our defense will take a giant leap. Think about it. An elite cornerback who can handle one-on-one, allowing St. Ristel and Amos extra help. That frees up our safeties to be more aggressive and compensates for weaknesses in our pass rush. But let me dive into why Walder is right about Latimore being our X factor. First, our defensive line lost 2 main pass rushers in Young and Sweat. That means quarterbacks will have more time in the pocket. When quarterbacks have more time, cornerbacks have to maintain coverage longer. That is an equation that only works if you have elite corners. Secondly, Latimore is not just a good cornerback. He's a cornerback who has shown he can shut down the best receivers in the league. During his best years in New Orleans, he will completely eliminate Michael Thomas, Mike Evans, Julio Jones. Those are names that define the position. Thirdly, and this is crucial, Latimore is in the last year of his contract. That means he's playing for a massive deal, either with us or another team. There's no stronger motivation in the NFL than a player in a contract year, especially one who knows they can earn $15 to $20 million per year if they have an elite season. I tell you this, acquiring Latimore wasn't just about adding talent. It was about completely changing our defense's identity. With a true shutdown corner, we can play more aggressively in other areas. We can blitz more because we know one side of the field is locked down. We can use more coverage roles because we have someone who can handle island coverage. And do you know what else excites me about Latimore? His track record against elite NFC East receivers. This man has faced Deshaun Jackson, Amari Cooper, Sterling Shepard, all the big names. Now he'll face CeeDee Lamb, A.J. Brown, Malik Neighbors twice a year. If he's in top shape, he can completely neutralize those players. But, and here's the risk Walder mentions, if Latimore doesn't return to his elite form, if the injury affected him more than we thought, if he can't fully adapt to Quinn's system, then our defense will have serious problems. A cornerback who can't handle island coverage means we need extra help, which limits what we can do in other areas. Now, I ask you this, when was the last time we had a cornerback with multiple Pro Bowl credentials in their prime? When was the last time ESPN named one of our defenders the X factor for the entire team? This hasn't happened in years, and it's exactly the kind of acquisition winning teams make. The reality is Latimore is 28 years old, in his prime, and has something to prove after years in a limited defensive system in New Orleans. Quinn and Witt are known for maximizing their cornerbacks' talent. If they can get the best out of Latimore, we won't just have an elite cornerback. We'll have a motivated cornerback playing for a massive contract, while Jerry Jones is playing with CeeDee Lamb contracts and wasting time. Peters was aggressive and brought in proven talent. While the Eagles are trying to fix their secondary, we already have our number one cornerback. The Giants are still looking for defensive answers, and here we are with the best cornerback in the NFC East when healthy. Look, Commanders fans, after analyzing these 3 news stories, I tell you this organization finally understands how to build a complete roster. Peters isn't just bringing big names. He's developing internal talent like Owens and McGee, while securing elite veterans like Latimore. Can Tyler Owens become the next defensive surprise? Is Jordan McGee going to be the linebacker that finally replaces Wagner when he retires? Is Martian Latimore going to be the X factor that takes us back to the playoffs? Let me know in the comments which of these 3 stories excites you the most. If you think Owens will be a starter before the season ends, like the video. If you believe McGee will be Washington's next great linebacker, subscribe to the channel, because I guarantee you that tomorrow we'll have more explosive news about these Commanders, and you can't afford to miss what's coming. This is our season to prove we are real contenders, and with players like these 3 making huge strides, the future has never looked brighter. Together we are stronger, and this Commanders fan community is a family. I need you to be a part of this family by subscribing to the channel, because together we're going to follow every move of this historic organization. And remember, hail to the Redskins!